Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, TikTok. It looks so bright on TikTok. So beautiful. Good morning. Get yourself a cup of tea, a coffee, and let's talk today on a serious subject. This subject was not what I was planning for today, but then I decided on Monday we're going to have a very strong full moon, the full moon in Scorpio, my topic, and the story of my life. But it's kind of strong, and strong full moons. Well, any strong astrological event, it gives us this kind of feeling of uncertainty, especially when we're kind of shifting a little bit constantly. So I decided to make today um, live about security and how to create that security and what is security and what is lacking in our life when we don't have security. And if you think that you are fully secure, then you don't need any kind of help, you might be mistaken. I was watching this podcast. So one of my teachers was in that podcast, and they basically, somebody, not her, but somebody said that almost 98% of the people in our world is actually don't have the inner security they're supposed to have. So unless you are in those 2% that do have, I mean, this life will be useful for you. So security is something, this is so funny because security is something that we have by birth. And we pretty much, and as I just said, almost 98% of people in this world are struggling with it. But we have this, it's given to us by birth. You see, if you have a physical body, you already have security. Your energy and your consciousness is tied to this material world, so you already have the security. You see, it's very very interesting, but for some reason we do not appreciate what we have and kind of and start struggling with that. Now, when you are absolutely secure, this is how you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel like you're walking on clouds, yet feeling very strong. Like imagine that you are in the sky walking on clouds, but you absolutely trust that cloud, and you know that everything will be amazing. That nothing will happen to you. That you you will land safely on the earth. This is how you need to feel throughout your day, throughout your life, all the time. Now, usually people do have issues with securities, and I will tell you how I found out mine. So many years back, I still was a Reiki practitioner, not a Reiki master, and I had a mentor, and she told me. So me, I used to live in New York, so I'm kind of results oriented, and I need them fast, and I'm ready to put the work. I just need the results fast. And one of my mentors, she told me, "Do you trust me? Do you trust the process? Do you trust me?" And I said, "No, I don't. I don't even trust myself." And she said, "That's because you don't feel the security inside of you." And that was an eye opener. She was absolutely right. I didn't feel any kind of security. I could have, I had an amazing job, an amazing career. You know, I had a really good amount of money coming to me every single month. Plus, I had the savings. Plus, I had everything, and yet still, I would wake up in the middle of the night like sweating because I was afraid that I would lose everything. Like there was no inner security at all. Now, my life is very unpredictable right now, and I feel much more secure because I have inner security. I walk on clouds, and I know that I will land safely on land when I decide to. You see, and this is how you should feel. The material things that I had did not give me security. I had a career, I had a job. You see, you can't just lose the job in a blink of an eye. I mean, you can, but still, even after you lose the job, you can get what is it called, unemployment or something like so. But even with all that, I still felt very insecure. So security comes from within, and this is what we're going to work today on. Now, if you don't have security, this is so the issue that you're going to have if you don't have the inner security. Um, so you don't trust anybody. You have trust issues with anything, with anybody, and with yourself, with situations, with people. And I have actually a video on trust issues. I probably will put it in the description of this one. Then you also have problems with how easy or hard, everything comes to you. So usually you need to work hard for something. Problems with the process. So it would be like you would always somehow get into some kind of issues outside, right? And constant fears. Fears are also security issue. Obviously, anxiety too. Poor health. If your health is so, you have issues with the security inside. Then also, what else? Weight gain, huge weight gain. I mean, I will tell you why that happens, but for the most part, people who gain weight and all the time, and they're on diets and they work out and they still couldn't shed the weight, they have serious security issues. I was like a person with weight all my life, I think, and I was very sporty. I always was on some kind of teams and everywhere, but as soon as I would stop working on my inner fire, I would gain weight very fast. So. And then also unhealthy security is when you collect everything, like you become a herder almost. So you are afraid to spend anything, you're afraid to throw out everything. This is also unhealthy security. This is like over security, that basically you try to compensate something that is inside that is not present. Possessiveness, when you're like crazy about your significant others, when you're like worried when your friend is trying to make a new friend, or your partner is socializing with somebody else. This is also a sign of unhealthy insecurity, and stuff like that. So basically, if you have any of this, you have issues with security, and this is something that needs to be addressed. So a few facts before I will start telling you what to do to become to gain the security within you is if you have, as I already mentioned, the first one, if you have problems with security, then it would be very hard for you to trust anybody. Like people would always have to earn your trust. Like they always will be fighting for to assure your trust. You see, and for the most part, that's because you don't trust yourself, honestly. And I will tell you, as a person who didn't trust nobody, that was me actually. I didn't trust myself. Right now, when I walk on clouds, I trust everybody. Okay, so I'm thinking, so if somebody will do something, I mean, okay, I will deal with this after. But for the most part, I give a benefit of a doubt to everybody at this point. And if you know me, you're working with me, you know that I never like really um you know I'm not going to say, but you know how. Okay, so security is given to us by birth. If you have the body, if you have the physical body, you are already given the security. Now then, you basically you lose it once you start depending on the family and the society that you were born, you start losing it, and I will tell you how. But it's something that's been given to us by birth, so you are supposed to have security. Now naturally we have to feel secure. We have to. It's like our natural absolute right. So security inside of us is basically our root chakra. So it's over here in the tailbone. It's basically the chakra that corresponds to our physical body. And this is where the security is. Security also corresponds to your money. Depending on the security you have within yourself, you will have either a lot or not too much money. So, but it's something natural, something that we're supposed to have all the time. Now, in our society, people do not feel secure right now. Why? Because we're disconnected from the material world. And I'm not talking about clothes, cars, bags and everything like that. I'm talking about the nature. You see, historically, people used to live on a piece of land, and they used to work that piece of land, and then they would kind of so they are rooted to that piece of land. Whatever outside is happening, at least they have that security. Right now we don't live like that. We hardly ever even touch the ground with our bare hands or our feet. I mean, and for the most part we live in the high risers, at least people around me. I live right now on the 7th floor. Before that I lived on the 11th floor. So just imagine, I'm very far away from the ground for the majority of my time. And even when I get on the ground, it's either in the car or somehow else like that. So we're we're not feeling secure because our lifestyle changed, I mean, the last couple centuries, and that's why, and our bodies are not yet adjusted, not only our bodies but also our minds. If people also, the security comes from our parents, and usually these are the parents that are supposed to kind of to engrave the security in us, especially if you're a woman. Now, if your parents didn't give you the strong base, you will, all your life you will start looking for the security around you. So you will try to find a man who is kind of a father figure or who can take care of you. You will try to you will start drawing people to you. Not like this. You would not draw. You would look for people who will be um, able to take some kind of responsibility for you. For example, you want to go traveling, you will go traveling with the friend that usually travels, that usually has that usually feels confident about that. Or if you're going out, you will go out with somebody who is who really feels confident going out. So this is how it is. You will always look for something for for people, for something, for security outside of you. Now, how do parents install the security in us? For example, you and your mom are going to the playground, and you're new at the playground, but your mom is here, and your mom is urging you, go try play with with other kids, try this new kind of those kind of devices on the playgrounds. So she's giving you courage, right? She's your strengths, and she's giving you courage. And you go and you try, because your mom is next, somewhere close by, and if something happens, she will come and save you. You see, she is that cloud that you are walking on when you are a little kid. And this is ideally how it should be. So your parents will give you the strong base, the strong roots, and then you move on with life, knowing already and having a strong pattern that the security exists, without you even having to work for this. Now, unfortunately, not all the parents are like this. So they do encourage, but besides encouraging to try something new, they also constantly scare kids, scare children, right? Don't talk to strangers. They can harm you. Don't eat this. This is bad for you. Don't do this. Don't do this. And at one point, the child that was born naturally secure becomes fully unsecure because everything seems to be bad. And I actually knew a couple of those people who were brought up in the families like this. Those people are basically antisocial, and they're anti everything. So yeah, but these are the parents who help you to bring that security that you were born with to a different kind of level. And when depending on your parents, obviously, like my parents were energy of air, so they really didn't care much for the security themselves, and they didn't really install in us that much, but they did install lightness about the society around them. All right, so unconsciously, our society does not, unfortunately, does not develop security within. Instead, we always look for security outside. And how does that look? We start, when we're little, we start going to the kindergarten or pre-K, and then we're going to school. So somebody is always controlling us. Then we're going to college or university, and then we're going to basically 9 to 5 job. And so the security is always guaranteed by some kind of social institution, basically. And if you go into school, then you will have a education, a career, then you will be fine. If you go into work, you will have money to pay rent, and you will have the medical benefits and whatever else the benefits that come with. So unfortunately, right now we are so used to kind of to put the responsibility for our inner security on somebody else. Because why? Because probably our parents did this, and this was just this is the society that we live in now. If you depend on others and the institutions to provide you security, you will never really have the security within you. You will always be insecure. You will always wait for something to happen. You will always be like you will never be secure, never. You see, like me, I had an amazing job, amazing career, I had the money, I had everything, and I didn't feel secure, even though I had all that. And then when I would wake up in the morning, I would be like, Why did I wake up in the middle of the night all sweaty? Like, I have a job, I have everything, I will be fine. But I didn't feel secure. Why? Because my security depended on the institutions. It was not within me. Right now, I don't have half of what I had, and I still feel much more secure. You see? And so this is basically, I'm just giving you the facts right now. It's not even how to create security. So we need to stop with unconsciously looking for security outside of us. Security always inside. Once you create it inside, you will be able to have it outside. You will see exactly what happened to me. So security is a must. It's just like a physical body. If you don't have a security, you will never be able to experience the world around you. You see, if I'm just a consciousness and energy, how will I know how this glass, how to hold this glass? How does it feel to hold it? How would it feel drinking water? I would never know this. You see, because I wouldn't have a physical body. Security is the same thing. Security and physical body is the same. Now, so you really need to experience the world. If you don't feel insecure, that's exactly what happened. You lock yourself up in your apartment and you just sit there. You don't experience, you don't go outside, you don't know how the glass feels, you don't know how the water feels in your body because you feel insecure. You will never go into the ocean because you're afraid of sharks or something like that. So you need to have security to develop yourself and to expand yourself as much as you can. Now, security gives you the strength to explore, to try something new, to basically to use your talents for something that you would want to do, to have kind of. Now, if you don't have this is for the weight gain. If you don't have security inside, remember, our mind is designed to protect our body, whether it's feeling secure or not. The mind's task is it's like an inner parent, to keep your body in alive. And for the body to be alive, the inner organs has to be vital organs, has to be protected. Now, if you don't feel secure outside, if you don't feel secure all the time, you basically, it's your mind is reading that you are living in a constant threat. And because you're living in a constant threat, you need to have protection. Because who knows, if you give in your mind a signal that there is a threat all the time, the mind is preparing. And what does happen to you? The mind starts packing up the fat to protect those vital organs. That could happen to anybody, even if you are extremely slender. That could happen because of how our mind works. For example, I was traveling last year and I did gain some weight. Why? Because I was traveling. There was something new for me. I never traveled for so long. I would spend in each country for like a month or 3 weeks. So every 3 weeks, I would have to pick up and go to another country. Well, I didn't have to, but this was my plan. So I did this. And basically, I would come to another country and I would have to start everything new. This new culture, new kind of new people, new everything. I would have to find I would need to find the SIM card. I would need to find what to eat, where to buy the food, like all this, you see. So my mind, I was not feeling insecure all the time, but there were moments when I felt very, very lost, and my mind, I guess, felt the need to protect me with the extra weight. Once I came back to Florida, I basically, the pounds started shedding off. So why? Because I feel secure. It's my, I could say, comfort zone, and I feel good here. So and the weights that coming off without even. And I will tell you, I used to go for a run this whole year. So it's not like I didn't exercise completely. Yeah, maybe I was eating not exactly the healthiest, but it was not something super bad. The weight was coming because of that insecurity, and yeah, it was. I could confirm. All right, so what to do? How to develop the security? Security is something that everybody has to develop, and I have a lot of clients, and all those clients are working on their security. Why? Because without the security, it's very hard to develop anything else. And as you know, I'm a feminine mentor, and you could not develop femininity if you don't feel secure. You see, you could not feel pleasure if there is a gun pointed at you or something like that. You need to really feel secure, so then you can develop security is your root chakra, and then you develop your pleasure, your strengths, and then your love, and so on. So there must be a base on which everything else is built. That's why I'm very, very strong on building security first. So this is the first thing that you need to do. You need to start working on your root chakra. And I have a video on it. I will put it in here. It does disrupts a little bit in the middle, but the video is called root chakra, your wealth, or something like that. So I will put it. Now you need to work on that, because root chakra is the one that binds your body energetically, your physical body, to the material world, to the planet, to the ground, you see, and to the energy of the planet that we are on. And that's why it's super important. You will never be feeling completely secure if you are not bound to the world you're living in. So work on your root chakra. The easiest way to do it is breathe through it. Breathe through the tailbone. Imagine the air comes into your tailbone, comes out from your tailbone. You will feel like your butt area will be like filled with energy. And that's how it should be all the time. So all that area at the backs of your legs and your butt area has to be filled with energy. If your butt is squeezed like this, it tensed all the time. So that means that you have serious issues with security. It should not be like this. Now, the second thing you need to do, you need to start grounding. Grounding is probably the easiest and the best thing. And how do you ground yourself? Ideally, you can just walk barefoot on the ground. But I understand that not everybody is living in the warm climate like I do. So as long as you walk in nature, so you can be wearing shoes, but as long as you walk somewhere like a park, could be, I mean, the beach obviously, but like a park, or maybe you can go to like some woods or forest, so somewhere where there is nature. If you're walking on the pavement, I mean, that's good, but it's not as strong. You need to have a connection to the like clear ground, and that would basically that would help you. If you can, also it would be good to sit on the ground like for a few minutes at least. I used to meditate when I used to live in New York. I used to meditate sitting on the roots of the tree. So there was a huge tree and it had like these roots, and I would just sit on them and I would meditate. It was warmer to sit on the roots, and I felt very strongly. I felt like this tree was giving me the strength and the security that I was lacking. And so that would be also good. Grounding is perfect. You could not ground yourself living on the 7th floor. When I ground myself, because it's my job basically, when I do energy alignments to my clients, I have to ground myself. I ground all 7 floors underneath me and then myself. But you don't need to do this. You can just go downstairs and ground yourself over there, and that's it. So, but grounding is crucial for the security. Without the grounding, you won't be able to do it. Before, when people used to live on the farms and having their own houses, it was much easier because they would spend a lot of time outside. They would be on the ground, you see. Nowadays, it's not as easy because we live up. Now, if you live in your house on the ground floor, you should be fine. All right. So the next one is you need to fix your relationships with parents. Now, whether your parents are alive or not alive, whether you live with them or don't live with them, you still need to fix the relationship with them, especially with your father. Parents are our roots, whether you believe in it or not. As a Reiki master, I'm telling you, parents are our roots and always will be. Energetically, they are our roots. And when you're healing the relationship with them, you're not doing it for them. You're doing that for yourself. Nobody else. Push your ego a little bit to the side and allow yourself to experience this feeling when you have strong roots. Now, if you didn't watch the video Relationship with Parents, I do encourage you to watch it. You might tell me, well, my father was never a good parent. He never really helped me. He never did this. He never did that. Okay, your father gave you life. That's pretty much what he had to do. So as long as you are alive, you have the physical body. He already did what he had to do. I am not defending fathers that were not participating in kids' lives, but we always choose parents ourselves, and I spent many years blaming my father that he died too early. It's not like he chose, but I understand where you're coming from. I always felt that if my father would live longer, my life would turn out differently. But I chose these particular parents myself, so I could not really blame them. I could not, I chose what will happen myself before I was born. So it's just how it is. Fix the relationship. I have the meditation on the parents. You need to do that meditation until you feel extremely strong. In the meditation, I say that your parents putting their hands on your shoulders, and then your grandparents and great grandparents are like standing behind. You need to feel really strong. I used to do a meditation like this, and I felt at one point I felt really like super powerful. Now, you need to basically fix the relationship with the person. So it's usually a father, but somebody who providing security in your family. It could be a mother. If your father is feminine and your mother is masculine, it could have been a mother that was providing the security. Or it could be grandparents. I'm not sure who was bringing you up, but it's that person who provided security. You need to have strong relationship if you want to feel secure. So, like for example, with your father, you can write 50 occasions when your father was providing you security. You need to remember and you need to write them all down. So how does it look? For example, your father, like in your childhood, you remember you guys ran out of toilet paper and your father went and bought toilet paper. Or maybe you were in the park with your father and there was a lizard and you were absolutely afraid of the lizard, and your father is basically just caught the lizard or scared him off and he defended you like this. You see, a child's mind is different. In those instances, your father was a hero. Remember that and write it down. Like I will tell you, my father was energy of air, my mom too. So they're not combative people, they both were very easy. I mean, my father passed away, but my mom is very easy, very communicative, doesn't argue with nobody. So I never really complained to them about anything because they would just laugh it off. You see, I didn't feel like they would protect me if I needed protection. So I never really complained. I never really said anything to them. But I will tell you though, one situation that happened when I understand that my parents will do everything they need to do to protect me. And it was in my childhood. I was probably like 8 years old, I think, or something, or maybe 7. And we had this neighbor. He lived on the same street as we did. It was his mother. He was like 18 or 19, so he was a pretty grown up man already. And I was a child, 7 or 8. I'm not sure how old I was. And he was always kind of, it's I don't really exactly remember, but he would like always hug me or something like weird. And he was a grown up man, and I was a kid, right? And but I was afraid, and I felt very uneasy with this guy. Every time he would see me, he would start talking to me. He would kind of try to hug me. It was very weird, but I never said anything to my parents again because I knew that they will just laugh it off and leave it. But one time I was on my bicycle, and he came and he started kind of hugging me and everything. I was trying to push away, and one of the neighbors saw and told my father about that. So my father asked me, and I was even afraid to confirm because I thought maybe he would start blaming me or something. I'm like, yeah, that really happened. So this neighbor of ours, he lived very close to my grandparents, and we used to go and visit the grandparents all the time. And one time we were walking to the grandparents, me, my brother, my mom, and my father. And my father saw that guy, and he's like, "Just give me a few minutes." And he went and he talked to him. He didn't shout. He didn't touch him. Nothing. He just said something. It was maybe less than 5 minutes because we were standing there and waiting for him. And since then, I don't know what my father told him. My father was not like a big man or super muscular or something. I'm not sure, but he did tell him something. Since then, that guy never looked at me, never spoke to me. Never, like if I would walk on the street, he would cross the street just not to walk with me on the same street. I mean, that guy never ever, like he disappeared from my reality. Till now, I don't know what my father said to him because I was afraid to ask. And and now my father is not alive. So what I want to say is, even when my father passed away, that guy never ever spoke to me or even looked at me like that. I still now I don't know what happened, but that was the really the situation that showed me that if something serious happened, my father was going to protect me. You see, that was my anchor to that 50 the list of the 50 situations when our parents like provide the security, when my father provided security for me. It was my anchor, because that situation showed how serious was that, how serious he took it too hard that somebody was bothering me, you see. So you need to write 50 occasions like this. As I said, you see, I was anchoring myself to the fact that he defended me, not to the fact that they would laugh off like if I would complain about something. And this was not the only occasion. It was like they would laugh, my parents would laugh off a lot of things. But but they would always address them. Like one time I came and somebody complained about me that I did something in school, and my mom was very angry. But my father, he actually went and he asked the teacher, and the teacher was like, "No, everything was good." So you see, he defended me. He provided me the security, and that was like instances like this that hold you down, that show you that you are secure, that you can walk on the clouds, and your parents are strong enough to pick you up even if they are not alive any longer. You see, that's what gives you, that's exactly what gave me strong roots. I understand that my parents are strong. Yeah, they're not perfect, obviously, as everybody's parents, as I'm not perfect, and who knows what kind of parent I will be. But I want to say that I created this picture of perfect parents in my life, my perception. I didn't do it for them, I did it for myself, for my own sanity, for my own security. And right now, I can tell you, my father is a hero in my life. I mean, he always was. I was very close to my father, honestly. But I mean, I also found occasions when he really, really stood up for me, when he really fought the society for my reputation, for something that was important for me. And you will find that too. I didn't. For me, my whole childhood was a little blurry. Only when I started working with myself, with my energy, with the security, my childhood started coming to life to me. Only then. So it didn't. I didn't just sit and wrote everything in one day, all the 50 situations. It took me probably a few months until I got to 50. So you need to do that too. If you want to feel secure, whether you need to push your ego to the side and start looking for for you need to start putting your father somewhat on a pedestal. You need to make sure that he's a hero in your life, whoever he is. And if you have children, make sure that for them, their father, whether he is or not, he's a hero. Again, you're not doing it for him, you're doing it for your own children. And you can start with that. If you are writing this list of your father, the first thing that you need to put is that he gave you life, you know whether it was like just happened and he never planned you, or you were really planned, he still give you life, you see. And that's a big one. You had a chance to live. So that's the first one. All right, so you would do this again. I don't want to hear nothing about but my father, but this, okay, this, it doesn't matter. You being angry at your father will not create security in your life. It's either you can sit in your anger, or you can just move on and create the perfect father figure in your life. It has to be your father, though. Don't try to push your grandfather to the front or somebody else. It has to be your father. All right. So the second one, the next one is gardening. Now I understand that not everybody has a garden in their backyard. Not everybody lives in the house. So, but gardening is not necessarily. You don't need to have a huge field to do gardening. You can do um, like you can have pots on the balcony. You can have plants on the balcony and just kind of just make sure that they're growing good, that you put some kind of fertilizer in them, water them. That would help you. You see, it's not really, you're not connecting to the world, but you're connecting to the tree. Tree is connected to the world. You're connecting to the plants. You're connecting to the soil. That would really be really good. Now, gardening, I mean, you have to do it yourself. So if you are hiring somebody to take care of your garden, this is not gardening. This is a good house management. So that would not count. Like, you need to do something yourself, and the more the better. That would also really strengthen your connection to the material world. Also, pets. If you have pets, good thing. Pets also ground you. That's why people energy of earth tend to have a lot of children, a lot of like animals, pets, because they're grounding them, they keeping them where they like to be. All right, so the next one is you need to start socializing with people energy of earth. Why? Because people energy of earth are the most secure among us. Why? Because they're people energy of earth, and earth corresponds to root chakra, and they basically feel the most secure. Now, not always though. Sometimes they feel insecure. Why? Because they just feel insecure. Sometimes they become too secure, and they become herders. They start collecting everything, like they're fixed on this idea of security, and it drives them crazy. Also not good. Now, and the last one that I put here, you need to, so if you will, oh no, not the last one. So if you will socialize with people energy of earth, you will know that those people um, love to organize everything in their life. They have a routine, a special routine. They don't do nothing without a particular purpose, and that's what you need to make sure to implement in your life. The more you will have some kind of plan for your life, some kind of purpose, not only some kind of dreams, but the purpose, the routine, somewhat your life is somewhat organized, the more you will feel secure. Why? Because your life is somewhat predictable. You see, security comes from predictability. This is not this is more like an outside security, but it still will help you to feel secure. um, Now, and the last one is also an outside security, but I need to mention it though. So you need to find what security is for you. For different people, it's a different thing. For example, for me, it always was money. I always believed if I have money, I can have everything. So I can travel, I can buy anything, I can live my job like this. I always felt. So my pursuit of security was always for money. Now, did I always have a good relationship with money? No, because of that, because I didn't have the security. For some people, it might be the house, like my brother. He believes if he has the house, he's secure. I don't know why. He doesn't even live in that in that in that place of his, but he still believes that that's his security. He feels if he has the house where he can always come, it's security. And a lot of people are like this actually. For somebody, security might be a husband. I don't know why that could be security, but I know quite a few ladies who believe like this. If they are married, they're super secure. That's it, they're done. So find what security is and give it to yourself. That would not heal your inner security, but it will provide the security that you need inside. You see, it would really really help you to feel better, to feel more secure. All right, so that's it. Let me sum it up. If you have questions, do ask. Now, I just wanted to mention security is something that you will always work on. And with age, if you don't work on your inner security, you will feel less and less secure. Why? Because your energy is depleting, your health is becoming more fragile and not as strong, and you will feel less and less secure. So it's better if you start working on security right now, not in 20 years when it will be very hard for you. Remember, your security comes from the inside, never from the outside. I know so many people that have houses, savings, and everything. They still don't feel secure. You see, so build it from the inside out, like that. All right, so let me sum it up. Today I'm kind of fast. So security is something that we're given by birth, and we should, if you have a physical body, you were given security, and something that we don't really bank on, but it's something that we should have. Now, security comes reconfirmed by your parents, and if your parents did not install security in you, it will be hard for you. our society, for some reason, started depending on some kind of institutions for the security. Not sure why, but that's how it is. And we need to basically to start looking for security inside. Unconsciously, we do look for security outside. Security is a must. If you don't have security, you will start having problems like you will become unhealthy, possessive, collecting stuff, constant fears, anxiety, poor health, problems with the progress in life, no trust to anybody, gaining weight, and stuff like that. And how to develop security. And so the first one is you need to work on your root chakra. That's a must. That's just not discussed. The second one is you need to ground. Grounding is very important for security's sake. The third one, you need to fix your relationship with parents. Remember, you're doing it for you, not for them. Especially with your father. Father is the one who gives you security. Create this perfect picture of him in your life. Be delusional if you have to, but create that perfect picture of your father in your life. Find 50 occasions when your father provided security for you and the family. Gardening and having pets is amazing. Socializing with people, energy of earth also. And creating, so people energy of earth are the ones that have a lot of placements in Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Creating some kind of routine, organizing your life as well. And then you need to find what security is for you, and basically give that security for yourself. Don't look for it in others. Others will only give what you give yourself. So if I buy myself an apartment, probably I will get a man that will gladly give me the apartment as well. Something similar like that. It's always like this. Give the security for you. All right. That's it. You see how short and sweet today? Please do send this video to people who need it, who struggle with security, who struggle with trust, with the relationship with people. Do send it to them. And if you have questions, do ask. But do work on the security. Remember, if you wouldn't do it now, you will have to do it at one point. Otherwise, you will always live not a fully fulfilling life. All right, that's it. I will see you on Wednesday at 6 p.m. We'll discuss something interesting. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye, TikTok. Bye, YouTube. Thank you very much for being here with me.